Welcome to Ayla's demonstration video. My name is Austin Benton and I'm an attorney at the law firm of Benton, Benton, located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. In this demonstration video, we're going to run through some of the core features Ayla has to offer. I will illustrate these features by generating three different documents in Ayla. We will generate a fee agreement, a petition for divorce with some simple custody issues, and a Let's begin by taking a look at the page in front of you. This page is actually a file that we have set up for our client, John Doe. You can see the case name is John Doe versus Jane Doe, and it is a divorce matter. So far on this particular page, what we have is a fee agreement that has been added to John Doe's file. Let's go ahead and launch into the interview associated with this fee agreement. Okay, we are now inside the fee agreement interview, and if you look to the left-hand side of the page, there's an outline. This outline is going to show us the different pages that we will navigate through while we are completing this interview. So to move forward or backwards in a page, you can click the next or previous buttons. So here we're going to answer the questions on the client page. So here we have the name of our client is John Doe. Here's our address information, the state where our client's domiciled, and the parish where they're domiciled. The next page is going to ask us about what type of fee agreement are we going to generate. Now, all the different types of fee agreements have been easily arranged for you here in a drop-down menu. So if we start out by clicking contingency fee, the next page will, the interview will only ask you questions associated with a contingency fee agreement, such as the different rates that your client would pay you depending on when you settle the case. But this is a divorce case with custody, so we're going to go back to the fee agreement type. We're not going to do a flat rate or an hourly. We're going to do an hourly with deposit. So now we have the hourly with deposit interview. This first question is going to ask us what issues we're going to be handling, and then it's going to ask us about the deposit details. I'm going to want a $5,000 deposit. I don't want a deadline to pay the deposit. I want them to replenish their funds if they run out. Here, to indicate how much, when they're going to replenish their funds, we have a sentence we're going to complete. When client's deposit has diminished to blank, they need to provide the additional funds. I'm going to put $500. I'm going to have a deadline to pay invoice, 30 days after it's been sent. And then finally, we have the different types of rates. I have attorney work, or if I wanted just to label this, Austin Benton's rate, then we can adjust the hourly rate, and the same for the paralegal. At the bottom, it's going to ask about tax consequences. Are you going to give out this advice? We're going to put no. And this is a good example of some of the nuanced questions that Ayla does dive into to help an attorney provide some additional protections for themselves as they move through the interviews and through the different documents. The next question deals with dispute resolution. We're going to say yes, we want to deal with that. Finally, I'm going to indicate what attorney is signing the document. I'm going to sign it. And then we're going to hit finish. It brings us back to our main file for John Doe. You can see there's a download button here. I'm going to click that, and it is going to download a document for us to review. Now I have pulled up the downloaded document, and you can see this is our fee agreement. The name of the client has been brought in. The issues we're handling have been brought in. We have the deposit of $5,000. We have the different rates, but you can see that we have this nice big fee agreement that has been generated. And in regard to it being editable, you can see here that I can delete certain provisions because this is in a Word document. I can turn around and add additional language if I want. So that is one of the big benefits to this program, is everything can be edited. So if you need to make some custom tweaks, you can do so. Let's turn our attention back to the Ayla application. And we're again looking at the documents for John Doe versus Jane Doe. So now what we're going to do is add a petition for divorce, and we're going to add a set of discovery. So let's go ahead and show you how easy that is. You can see there's pretty limited options on this page, but we're going to click Add a Document, and that is going to bring up multiple ways to search for documents. At the top, we've got a search option, so we can search for keywords, or we have this folder search. So let's take a bigger look at this. I have my family law library, and family law has a multitude of different types of issues. So what we've done is we've organized them by issue type. And let's go to divorce here. And after I open up divorce, I have folders that organize the different types of pleadings. So here I'm going to open up pleadings and judgment, and you can see that we have petition for divorce, and I'm going to close it. I've selected petition for divorce, but you can see we can have answer with or without reconventional demand. We have a judgment of divorce, affidavit, and all the court forms. You can set a status conference and so on. Then we have discovery. Let's do interrogatories and subpoenas, and let's generate a set of interrogatories. Let's add these to our client's file here. And so now, before, this page just had the fee agreement, and now you see petition for divorce and interrogatories and production request. So let's take a second and jump into the petition for divorce, and let's generate a petition for divorce with a basic custody request. We are now inside of the petition for divorce interview, and before we proceed any further, we need to indicate to Ayla that we also want to add an additional request to this, such as custody or child support. So let's proceed forward to the next page. And this page is asking us, are there any other issues that you want to add to the document? Let's click yes. And now Ayla has presented you with an a la carte menu of the different types of motions that you can add to the pleading. So here I'm going to go down to children requests, and I'm going to select child support, legal custody, and physical custody. Now on this page, and we're not going to go into all of them, but we're going to have spouse support and community property. We're going to have contempt of courts, different mediation selection options, and a litany of other issues that you can add to this family law document. So as we move forward, it's going to bring us back to our parties section. We've already gathered the information for our client. I've entered the information just a moment ago for the opposing party. And then if the opposing party has an attorney, we would enter their information here. Then it's going to ask us about the Department of Children and Family Services. Are they involved in this case? If they are, we will select whether it's DCFS office you're going to be serving or the district attorney's office, depending on where you are in this, how involved DCFS is. Some district attorney's offices take over the work for DCFS after an initial setting of child support. So I'm going to click no, that DCFS is not involved. Next, we're going to deal with suit and venue information. So I've got all the different venues. So I'm going to select East Baton Rouge is my venue. And while this says 19th JDC, it really is the family court in Baton Rouge. Suit number division, I'm going to say this is a new suit. I don't know it. Caption information, depending on your preference, we have different caption styles that you can choose from. So here I'm going to choose caption style B. How I want my caption to read is John Doe versus Jane Doe. Then I have my different issue details, and you can see off to the left several pages have been added: children information, marriage information, separation information. Now we are not going to, in this demo, go through all of these different questions, but I will take a second to highlight some of the different features that Ayla has. So I'm going to move down to divorce here, and I'm going to go down to divorce type. So here we have divorce justification and authority. We have the types of divorces. And so if you want to do a 102 versus a 103.1 or 103.2, you simply select the one that you're looking for, and then the interview will change based upon what your selection is. So I'm going to do a 102. I'm going to come down to show you one more section here to terminate community. So here at the top, it's going to ask us whether we want to terminate the community property regime, and then we have this justification section, and you will see a little light bulb off to one side. If I click this light bulb, it is going to present you with a civil code article that you can review and get yourself oriented, because there are several different ways that you can in fact terminate the community property. And Ayla will provide you with the different options as you're moving through the interview. So I'm going to go ahead and just select upon rendering the judgment of divorce. Let's highlight one or two more areas inside of this interview. Now let's take a look at the service section here. So here we're going to deal with service, and it's going to be service on Jane Doe, and we have the method of service. Now depending on whether it's long arm service, or you're going to execute a waiver of service, or you're going to hold service, you can indicate, or whether you're going to do 1313C service. You simply indicate the method of service you're looking for, and the document will be amended accordingly. You also have the option of generating letters to each of the parties, including your client, as you're making your way through the interview. We're not going to worry about that for right now. So I think that we're done with this interview, so let's go ahead and click Finish, and let's download it. And now we are looking at the petition for divorce that was just generated based upon the interview we just completed. So we have our petition for divorce. You can see that we are citing the law throughout the document in order to give the attorney a good reference point as they're moving through it. In the event that they get asked a question by the judge, they'll understand the different laws that they are basing their request off of. Here we're asking for a 102 and a 103.1 divorce. And let's move down the page and move past some of these different sections that we've asked for. And we come to the prayer section. And we're requesting our rule nisi. Here's our service information. And then here's our order. And here's our verification for divorce. So let's go through and take a look at one more document. And what we're going to do for our last document is generate a set of interrogatories and production requests to the opposing party. So here we're going to go ahead and launch the interview. And now that we are inside the interview for interrogatories and production requests, what I'm going to do is use the interview outline over here to navigate directly to the discovery section, because I've already entered the information for parties and for the suit. I don't need to re-enter that, so I'm going to go right to the discovery. And on the next page, and we're not going to go very far into the set of discovery, we're just going to ask for a few. So here we have interrogatories and production request. At the top we have some authorization forms. So I'm going to want them to fill out a HIPAA and employment records. And we're going to go ahead and come down here to the opposing party background information. And I want them to provide all their education level and degrees, all their medical providers, any mental health diagnoses, and their identification information. But as we move down this page, we're not going to go too far into this. We have opposing party income and employment. So this can ask them to generate additional income and expense affidavits, asking for their gross incomes. And this page has discovery that covers community property, child custody, child support, contempt of court, and a litany of other issues. So we're going to go ahead and click yes to this page, and let's generate our set of discovery. And notice that I only had to make a couple selections, and now I'm going to click the download button for the interrogatories and production request, and there it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So we are now looking at the final product for the discovery we generated, the set of interrogatories and production requests. And let's go ahead and just take a look at one or two questions on here. And really, let's bring our attention to interrogatory number 2 here, which says, describe your educational background by outlining the highest grade you completed, each degree or diploma certificate you received, any specialty interest you've acquired, any vocational training you've completed. Now let's move past the rest of the interrogatories and go right to the production requests that generated simultaneously. And what you're going to see is right here for number 3, provide copies of all degrees, diplomas, certificates, licenses, and other educational or vocational accreditations you've received. Now, I know that we've generated a set of production requests, and we did ask for them to fill out some waivers, the opposing party to fill out some waivers and some additional documents. So here we asked them to fill out an income and expense affidavit, and so we've attached it. We've also asked them to fill out our employment information form and a HIPAA form. And this brings the demonstration to a close. If you are interested in having a more detailed demonstration to see the succession library or the criminal law library or any of the other various libraries that Ayla has to offer, then please reach out to us, and we look forward to doing business with you.